So we are now joined by our political analyst once again, Matt Klink, a political consultant, and Peter Mathews, a political science professor at Cypress College.
Thank you guys for being here. You've been here for a long time with us all day today. We saw President Trump today being sworn in as our next president. A couple things we want to talk about. One, Matt, maybe you can address the next 100 days. And Peter, maybe talk about, we also chatted that they will be sleeping in the White House tonight. Okay. So we'll talk about both. Let's talk about the first 100 days.
So the first 100 days are important for any new administration. And I think what you'll see Donald Trump do a couple things. One, Monday, a number of executive orders that will or repeal of President Obama's executive orders. Two, fundamental tax reform. He talked about it. Paul Ryan, the Speaker of the House, has said it's important. Hopefully they can build consensus with some of the Democrats and get something bipartisan. And then three, it's going to be reconciliation, which only requires 50 votes, through which they will repeal 60% of Obamacare and then begin the process of reinstalling something new, hopefully that will work a little bit better than Obamacare did. So very aggressive agenda.
Let's take a quick look here. President Trump and First Lady Melania leaving the viewing area to, we assume, go back and get dressed for the balls. They have 3 balls to attend tonight, so the parade's still going on at this hour. Just has probably about 30 more minutes to go. They are headed back to the White House to change. And on that note, Peter, we were talking, tell us a little bit about, they slept somewhere near the White House last night. Tonight They will be in the White House.
Yes, they were in Blair House across the street, which is the president's guest house. Tonight, right in the White House itself. And this is the real thing now. Once you're in the White House, the whole world changes for you. Your outlook changes because now you're in charge of the most powerful country in the world. You've got a major economic reform that's needed right now, and he's been campaigning on getting more jobs. And this is going to be a real focus for him. And the first 100 days, by the way, is a honeymoon period. And that's when presidents have goodwill, usually from the other party itself. And this is a little exceptional. It's not quite that way yet. But still, in this case, Trump has to take the first 100 days initiative to get a lot of those things done, like infrastructure spending, job creation, trade. He said we're going to stop our jobs from being exported to other countries, cheap labor countries. Those are key priorities for him, and he better capitalize on this first 100 days of whatever goodwill he has, which is not a whole lot because don't forget, he's only got a 40% approval rating right now, which is the lowest of modern-day presidents. But I think he'll have his best shot right now to try to accomplish those things.
Polls are kind of interesting because a Gallup poll comes out and says that he has a 56% job approval rating before he even took the oath of office. I saw that this morning. But let's talk about that first 100 days. And one big issue is the Affordable Care Act. They say they have a plan, but just like 8 years ago, we don't know what it is until, are we going to have to wait until it's signed before we find out what it is?
It's my understanding, and again, I am no health care expert, but it's my understanding that the Republicans are not going to push a massive 2,000-page bill that nobody has read across the desk and just have people sign it on blind faith, that they're going to repeal as much of Obamacare as they can through the reconciliation process, and then what they do, they will pass a series of smaller bills that deal with problems individually, that hopefully then they can pull in. Again, I think there are 10 members of the Senate running for re-election in states that Donald Trump won, that hopefully they can pull in some of them and maybe get some bipartisan support. Those are Democrats. Right. Remember, there was not one single Republican vote for Obamacare, the only major entitlement in the U.S. that had no bipartisan support. And you've seen the results of it. It's been a boom for Republicans over the last 8 years. So the Republicans, I'm sure, are trying to avoid that same scenario from happening to them with Trump care.
Okay. All right, Matt Klink and Peter Mathews, thank you so much for your time today. It really meant a lot for your insight and your knowledge.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You didn't even hear half the stories.
I know, right?